One of the things I like to talk about with respect to persuasion and skill is how the two not necessarily are linked. Meaning, if you are the most skilled, you're not necessarily the most persuasive. And I'm going to give you an example from the fighting world, from the boxing world, really. Currently, today, it was announced that Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are going to have a rematch in September of this year. Without a doubt, it's going to draw a lot of hype. It shouldn't have, in my opinion, because nobody really wants to see that rematch. Really. Floyd and Manny are both old. They're both worn down. Let's not kid ourselves. This isn't elite boxing. And I don't say this to take a swing at either guy. I really don't. I say it because they've already fought. They fought at that time 5 years too late. And if you're a casual fan, maybe you're gonna have an interest in watching that fight. But most of us hardcore fans, probably not so much. Certainly not me, because here's what's gonna happen. Floyd is gonna win again. And it's gonna look even easier this time. Because at that time, Floyd was simply the better boxer, and at this time, Floyd is simply the better boxer. That's a fact. Here is instead a fight that I am looking forward to, and that sadly is probably gonna pass by the radar of most people. Namely, Inoue Naya against Nakatani Yunto. I'm not sure if I pronounced either guy's name right. I'm really doing my very best. These are two elite Japanese super bantamweight boxers. They're both undefeated. They're both in their primes. They have an undefeated record, like I said. They're both knockout artists. They're exceptionally skilled, either boxer, and I can't wait for that fight to happen. Really, I can't. This is the best fight, in my opinion, in boxing in 2026. This fight right here. And yet, because they're Japanese boxers, which means they don't hold as much appeal as the American boxers, I don't think either guy speaks English, regrettably. They're not featured as much as a result of that, and they're fighting in a lower class weight division. They're fighting in the super bantamweight division, the small guy division, really. And once again, I don't say that to take a swing at either guy or make fun of him. I really don't. But they are physically smaller, and regrettably, they are market-wise smaller as well, because they don't hold the same appeal. They don't persuade the same number of people to pay for their fight as do Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. And fight history is riddled with other examples. Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor. Khabib is better than Conor. They fought. Khabib beat Conor fair and square. Yet Conor McGregor is way more popular in terms of drawing asses to seats and selling tickets than Khabib. That's just a fact. And the list goes on and on and on. Sean Strickland just fought. Yet Dricus du Plessis, who is the former UFC middleweight champion, and there are rumors that Khamzat Chimaev, who just beat Dricus, is going to move up to light heavyweight, which means that the middleweight strap in the UFC may become vacant. In my opinion, Dricus du Plessis should fight Nasruddin Imavov for that strip, not Sean Strickland. Dricus already beat Sean Strickland twice. Sean holds a win over Nasruddin Imavov. That's fair. But still, hold on, I just lost my train of thoughts. This is very, very annoying, by the way. Very, very annoying. Yeah, Dricus du Plessis should still fight Nasruddin Imavov, even though he probably won't draw as many asses to seats as, for instance, a rubber match or a third rematch, really, with Sean Strickland. Which just brings me to the point. Persuasion and skill aren't linked. If you are more persuasive, you draw more attention than if you are skilled. That's just an unfortunate fact. Here's the obvious lessons. Lesson, I mean, how can you utilize that in your business life?